Corruption is an animal that fights you fiercely when you fight it. Oh yes, it won't back down easily even though it is clearly in the wrong. But don't take my word for it. Take it from someone who has looked corruption in the face and vowed to fight it.
Consistently said, when you fight corruption, corruption will fight you back. But when you fight corruption, you will be acknowledged.
Former Auditor Daniel Domelevo, Auditor General, fought corruption intensely, even at the risk of losing his job. We all know how that went eventually. But back to the issue of corruption. It's common knowledge that this is a serious canker in this country. In fact, in 2019, the Ghana Integrity Initiative quantified it. And you know what? The country loses close to $3 billion to corruption annually. $3 billion every year. Money that can go into the provision of critical social amenities, whether it's hospitals, schools, or roads, etc. And we are a developing country. We have a tall list of needs. And these needs require money, lots of it. And how do we finance these needs? Through the generation of revenue locally or support from our international donors. And that support is declining. But one of the ways we generate huge revenue in this country is through duties. These are taxes we collect at the ports, which will ostensibly go into the national kitty for national development. For, among others, the building of schools, roads, etc., hospitals, among others. But some people are not paying these taxes. They have found ways to circumvent the system. We have all heard reports about corruption at the ports. These allegations of corruption did not start today.
I'm really upset. And I think that I should let you know. Officers of customs, you are Ghanaian citizens. You have to help us to build a better Ghana. Every day we hear reports about malpractices. People collecting bribes with careless abandon. People who think that they are entitled to take bribes. How can we get rid of corruption?
So this is as far back as February 2011, when the late President John Evans Atta Mills, may he rest in peace, stormed the ports and unleashed his anger over the attitude of custom officers, some of who were caught on tape engaging in bribery and corruption to divert taxes owed to the state and enrich themselves. His strategy to fight corruption is what has become known as the Anas Principle. And oh boy, did it reveal what most of us, had suspected all along. The corruption being perpetrated by some customs officials at the ports was endemic. The Anas Principle had effectively unearthed the rot in the system there. It was a principle that even then candidate Akufo-Addo promised to employ.
Setting up highly motivated professional groups of young people who will work, if you like, as it were, undercover to unearth examples of corruption wherever they can find it, and thereby allow the authority to deal with the issue. Because not only do you unearth the corruption, but you actually deal with it in terms of sending people to court, prosecuting them. Hopefully the courts will cooperate and make sure that the offenders are found guilty.
Almost 10 years later, we are yet to see if that principle is actually being used and whether people are actually being prosecuted. Which brings me to the recent controversy involving the head of the Customs Division of the GRA, Colonel Retired Kwejo Damwa, and the owner of the frozen foods company, La Bianca Company Limited. The Office of the Special Prosecutor had in its investigations accused the owner, who is a member of the Council of State, of influence peddling. The report said she used her influence as a member of the Council of State to secure a favorable reduction in benchmark values on the goods she imported. So essentially, she had avoided paying a little over 1 million cedis in import duties to the state, which has subsequently been recovered. So both she and the customs boss were fingered in this allegation of corruption. Of course, as Daniel Domelevo famously said, when you fight corruption, corruption will fight you back.
He was going to publish something that will discredit me, and he will do that. And I even sent people to go and tell him that he's a small boy. I'm older than him. I have lived a meaningful life. If he attempts to destroy me, it won't be easy for him.
Now, whether the special prosecutor is a small boy or an old man has nothing to do with the substantive issues being raised. But this whole episode raises questions about our commitment to the fight against corruption. We know the move to digitize the ports has had some successes. We applaud the Vice President for that. But if government really wants to demonstrate commitment to fighting this problem, especially at the ports, which has the potential to generate even more revenue to meet our developmental needs, especially at this time that we are confronted with the economic crisis, we need money and lots of it, then we need to face corruption squarely and beat it down. The question is, Mr. President, is your government ready to fight?